The year 2002. Spider-Man had just shown the world a web-line, whip-cracking boy had a place on the big screen. Batman was voted the sexiest man alive. Little ramen noodlehead JT broke up with the queen or pop herself, Britney Spears. Yu-Gi-Oh was all the rage. Everyone wanted those blue eyes in the Mixodias. No pads, no helmets, just balls came out, reminding everyone the next couple of years would include a bunch of whiny emo pop-punk kids singing along to Perfect. But most importantly, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Senses hit the big screen, baby. When you're a little 5-year-old boy who only cares about 4 things, and that's superheroes, WrestleMania superstar Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Sony freaking PlayStation, and Harry Potter, it was a good time to be a little babu. So you wake your little 5-year-old Bootski up Christmas morning, and you unwrap your presents, and there it is, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. None of that Philosopher's Stone crap, because we're from America. You pop that sweet little black record-looking disc into your gray module of Powerhouse and Fun Times, and oh yeah, EA made all of these games. Before they were charged for everything, they were challenge everything.
EA Games.
Challenge everything.
To be honest, booting this game for this review, that thunderstorm even scared me now. Now that I think about it, this game actually had some fairly terrifying elements to it, aside from the graphics, which are, yeah, they're PS1. But Headless Nick has like this creepy thing where his voice just echoes.
Hello, Harry. Try to grab all the Bertie Bott's beans, but mind the bouncing bulbs. If they bump you, you'll lose some of your beans.
All the portraits in the game, they're terrifying. I don't know what they were doing, but their face moves kind of funny, and I don't appreciate it. Peeves scares the Jesus out of me all the time. He just has these creepy little laughing noises, and he looks stupid, stupidly scary.
Why, it's Potty Wee Potter! I'm Peeves Potter, and you better watch out for me! Young Potter, you're ugly, but what can we do? Everyone says you belong in a zoo. If you look in a mirror, it surely will crack. The best thing to do is wear a nice sack.
And then those eyes, those stupid eyes, and that whole level, Peeves just jumps out of nowhere at you like, hey, look at me, you trying to jump over there? Oh, here I'm coming. Ooh, I'm flying in. Freaking jerk. And then Voldemort's face. Don't even get me started on that. That thing's gross. Put that away, man. There's kids here. Now, on to the topic of controls. To put it bluntly, Harry controls like a pile of owl sh**. The game doesn't have a jump button per se. You just kind of auto jump when you move forward, and there's a ledge there. This becomes quite a problem when Harry moves about as well as a tank. And it has a static camera. You can move it with the bumpers, but it only moves left and right. There's no real control over it. So if you're near a wall and you can't focus on the center and you try to jump, it's better off just falling on the ground until you can get to a better position. It works alright. I eventually got used to it with the occasional terrible jumping puzzle. I'm looking at you cauldrons in the ecto cooler. I see you over there mocking me. I only died 26 times. If you know anything about Harry Potter, you know the House Cup and how throughout the entire movie, books, games, you earn house points. Well, in this game, it still applies. Hey kid, you like winning stuff? You like beating up those little dumb snail boy Slytherins? Well, by doing the most mundane tasks, you can earn some house points. I mean, I'll be fair, the game does give you like one task that you can earn a couple extra house points, but in the end, it doesn't matter. Slytherin's always going to beat you. It's just part of the story. There's no way for you to win enough house points to ever beat them. You could do every little thing you want, but they're always going to beat you in the end. So, there was no point in trying. Keeping up with the lore of Harry Potter, you can collect some wizard cards and some Bertie Bott's every flavored beans. I also like that the game gives you a couple extra beans that lie around in case you missed a few beans in an area that you can't get to anymore. Don't need any more beans, but thank you. Which you use the beans to give to Fred and George for their experiments, and in return they give you the password to some of the portraits around Hogwarts, which you'll receive some special items for, or the Albus Dumbledore wizard card. While I don't know if any of these items, aside from the Quidditch armor, actually do anything, I know you get the Nimbus 2000 from one. Did somebody say Segway? In this game, you get to fly your broom at certain points. From the beginning, you have flying training games, and then you have the Quidditch itself. The flying is somewhat lackluster and less to be desired. It's not too bad, but, well, it's pretty bad. It seems like it's a growing theme with this game that the controls are pretty bad in the beginning, and then eventually you kind of learn how to do it. For example, the flying kind of seems like you're flying a cake mixer. It's really bumpy, and then sometimes it's really smooth, and then other times it's just a complete mess and there's no coming back from it. And it only seems like it's like this during the actual training parts. During Quidditch, it's just fine. There's also this pretty cool little boss battle you get on the brooms with Malfoy. Oh yeah, baby. There's boss battles in this game. Want to fight a pig? You can do it. A little blonde kid and his fat monkeys? You can do it. Want to fight a plant? Psh, you can do it. You want to fight Voldemort? Yeah. Good luck, nerd. Alright, let's get serious for a second here. I didn't actually beat the final boss in this playthrough.
But how can you review the game if you haven't even beat the last boss?
Listen, I've beat this game millions of times. Back in high school, they used to call me the king of Harry Potter on the PS1. I know this game inside and out, but I just couldn't do it. I had to give up. I think the reason why I gave up too, especially on the end boss, was before you fight Voldemort, you have to fight this large knight. No problem, easy peasy. You knock him around, you show him the old 1-2, then boom, on to Voldemort. But this is where it gets kind of garbage. You die from Voldemort, what do you think happens? Well, you gotta walk all the way back to the mini-boss. I get it if it was like, you have to do this all in one health bar kind of thing, because, you know, we're going for that hardcore approach, but they give you a potion right before you go in. So I get fed up, I'm tired, I'm ready to take my little weary Weasley head to bed. I look around for a save point, but there's none. Anywhere. I didn't save before getting locked in the hallway before the mini-boss, so you have no choice but to beat the game right there, or just quit and reload from even further back if you forgot to save. This is my next real big gripe with the game. Auto-locking doors. I get the game needs to keep me in a certain area to progress the story, but it ruined my chances of getting the last portrait because I accidentally walked into the wrong room and I had the door locked behind me. To be locked out of being able to save though, that really just put the nail in the coffin for my playthrough. But I don't think not being able to save the game after I hit the last couple bosses really killed the playthrough. I think once you hit Diagon Alley, the game takes a pretty serious dip in enjoyment. Diagon Alley having possibly two of the worst parts of this game. Countless young coal hours spent trying to get past them. Many a little babu tears shed on Diagon Alley. So you arrive at Diagon Alley in search of items for Hagrid's dragon. But first you need money. So you gotta go to Gringotts. And you walk in, little smug goblins are like, hey, I know you're only 11, but why don't you run around and fill out this paperwork? I know the controls are messed up and you gotta slide around. This isn't the worst part of Gringotts. When you actually get into Gringotts and you get all the paperwork done, you get to do 3 of the exact same things. You're on a tram cart that actually has weight to it, and you have to collect so many coins. Well, if you're trying to get a 100%, this is nearly impossible, because you have to get all the coins in the correct sequence, and then depending on what level you are, you need to get 65 of the gems, 55, or 65 again. And these gems only appear if you get all of the coins in the correct sequence, and then you have to pick up all the gems anyways to get the final 3 cards. So you're pretty much out of luck if you want to actually beat this game 100% and you're not 100% on Gringotts. The last 2 shops in Diagon Alley are perfectly fine. You get out of Gringotts, you go to the Owl, you just do a Wingardium Leviosa a little bit, and you give him a treat. Then there's also a toad that you just hit around, super easy. But then there's probably the worst little mini game in this entire game. That peacock. You gotta chase it around, but not too fast, you'll run ahead of it. Not too slow, or oh, there goes your entire feather collection. And you have to sit there. You just have to sit on him, and you have to get 3 of these feathers. It gets to the point to where you know you're gonna lose, so you just kill the peacock for fun. After dealing with Diagon Alley, apparently Malfoy snitches on you. You don't see this, you see this through in-game cinematics, but now you get to do the Forbidden Forest. Is it fun? No. You kind of just walk around, follow this glittering unicorn blood, and that's about it. There's no boss fight. There's no puzzles. You just kind of walk around. There's one secret, I believe, where you get a wizard card. There's a couple of jelly beans lying around, but really you just walk and you fight a turtle, I think 3 times maybe. There's nothing really to this. And that seems to be how the rest of the game gets. You're just repeating old things, or you're just walking around doing nothing. There is the introduction of Fluffy and the flute system, which is pretty much just a carbon clone of the classroom sections. You just press a couple buttons in a certain order and just continuously do it until the game says, hey, you did it. While I do like the Devil's Snare, I think it's very visually appealing for PS1 graphics, and it is a change of pace to finally have a boss battle that was a little bit challenging after pretty much doing nothing for the past 50 minutes. You don't really have much after that, though. You have another broom flying area, you have a little walking area where you just pick things up and get them out of the way of the ogre, and that's about it. I think the music and the sound in this game are wonderful. I think a lot of times they use the silence of the PS1 to their advantage. Sometimes the voice actors are incredibly poor, but there's also just little sounds that make the silent corners of Hogwarts really feel like you're in a castle, be it the spiders walking or the fairies floating. The chest section makes me want to kill myself. I thought the invisibility cloak was a pretty cool idea. I like how they incorporated it. The levels are absolute trash though. I also absolutely hate your cat filch. Also, I don't know why they made McGonagall's class one of the hardest things to get to. I mean, I guess it is the very last class that you attend, but I don't know why it has to be so difficult. I hated it. Also, McGonagall, you're really ugly. And to continue one more time, the chest section makes me want to kill myself. And I think that's gonna do it. Is this game bad? Yeah, a little bit. It's not the worst game. It's not the best game. Although, I think it deserves a try, especially if you're a fan of Harry Potter in general. Will I play it again? Of course. This game has always found a way of getting me to come back and play it. Regardless of the game's quality and the clunky controls, I like to come back to it. It takes me back to a simpler time. Hey, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching. If you like the content, subscribe, leave a like, share it around. I really want to work on more of this content, reviewing. I want to at least get 1 review a week, so if you have any ideas what I should do next, leave it in the comments. If you want to directly help the channel, I have a Patreon link in my description. That's a great way to help the channel grow. It's a great way to help me get better equipment, better microphones, everything that I need to grow the channel. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Abracadabra on a nigga. Expecto Patronum on a nigga. What? If Malfoy gon' run up on me, then I'ma put my wand to the nigga. Hey. Ron in the back, Hermione on the sack. Y'all motherfuckers don't know how to act. Voldemort got shit on me, say hell Gryffindor and